Everyone in their algorithm is talking about GLP shots, from Semaglutide, Tirzepatide to Retatrutide. It's the era of the skinny syringe. But is this medication or magic? And what happens when the magic wears off? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of In the Gray Area with REVV Health. I'm Britni.
And I'm Travin.
Let's get into it.
Well, I hate to say it, but I do think these are a little bit of magic. It's a little bit of both. And I usually hate saying that about stuff because, I mean, they definitely have to be used correctly. But I mean, when we think about how effective these, drugs are at what they're intended to do, and which is, at reducing obesity and people losing weight, we obviously know they do a great job of that. And when we think about how harmful obesity is and how much of an epidemic it's become, and now all of a sudden you have these medications coming in, and it's like to think about, potentially having a, cure for obesity, which is essentially what these are. I mean, and it's like the disease that it can help prevent. I mean, it truly is the closest thing I think we've had in terms of medication to like a miracle drug or a magic drug.
Absolutely. And this is one of my favorite topics to talk about, just because of even our experience and our patients' experiences. Mm-hmm. But, for the longest time, we've heard people, and we still do, they're scared of it and they think it's dangerous. And mm-hmm. we talk about doing it the right way, and making sure that you're working with somebody that knows how to do it in a healthy, safe manner. Mm-hmm. But I think people don't even understand that it's actually a hormone that we produce mm-hmm. in our gut.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So these, these class of drugs, they're called incretin hormones. And so that's, basically these drugs are mimetics of the peptide hormones that we are naturally producing. And so just like everything else, they decline with age. And so we are, replacing them, giving much higher levels than normally. And that's how come they're so effective. But it's, what's really cool about these drugs is we forget that they were originally intended for diabetics. Yeah. To help, control blood sugar. And then we saw that they were fantastic at, reducing appetite and helping with weight loss. So now they became approved for that. And then most recently, Wegovy or Semaglutide just got approved for fatty liver. I know sleep apnea is next down the pipe. And so it's like they're finding all these other cool treatments.
Major benefits
from these medications. From this one peptide. They truly are pretty cool.
It is amazing. Sure. Yeah. I would refer to it as magic, but mm-hmm. we've seen so much, especially like while you're talking, it like came to my mind about, we see insulin resistance mm-hmm. with everybody's having that issue. Mm-hmm. And like with our women with PCOS, like 2 out of 3 women have it. And it's sad because a lot of these like kids are even dealing with obesity mm-hmm. at such an early age. Yeah. And I know we talk a lot about, eating healthy and how challenging that is mm-hmm. because our food is just full of so much garbage and they're not getting the nutrients mm-hmm. and stuff too. But something like this is really making a huge impact in like changing people's lives.
Yes, it is. And I think it's just when you were saying that, it reminded me of, I know the last episode we kind of talked about like doing things natural and kind of the knock that some people will have on different hormones or supplements that people take. And it's like, you do have this camp that is so anti these drugs. And they're mm-hmm. like, well, people just need to learn self-control and they need to learn how to eat right. And, whatever it is. And it's like, that's such like nonsense. I feel like, because like if it was a perfect world, like I do agree with those people, but
sure.
you have to like have your head buried in the sand to not realize that like, obesity rates just keep getting higher and higher and higher. And so like you can sit here all day and say, oh, just have self-control and eat good. But like, that's not working. It's clearly not working. And so like, how do we deal with this obesity epidemic? And it's like, these are the answer and they work great at that.
Yeah. I know that a lot of people are really worried about just the slowing down of the digestion too. Mm-hmm. And you hear of people that like have to go to the hospital and stuff. Yeah. I know from our personal experience, we don't ever dose on mm-hmm. the highest dose. No. And we don't even get close there. And we really encourage everybody to dial in hormones too, because mm-hmm. it's an amazing tool to add on with your hormones.
Yeah. I think people need to understand, like, this is super important. Like when you get online and you read about different incidents or things that happen to people and they end up in the emergency room or whatever, like there is a ton of like misuse and abuse that occurs with these drugs. And what I mean by that is like, they're so prevalent on, like you can get online, you can order them from research sites, you can get them from like the underground sites that aren't regulated. And so people are ordering these medications themselves. They're having to reconstitute them. They don't know what they're doing. And so like people might, like, it's easy to mix up the math and all of a sudden you're doing like a 10x dose of what you're supposed to be. Like I've heard of people doing like 50 milligrams of Tirzepatide on accident because they don't know how to reconstitute it. They don't know how to do the math and what they draw up. And so it's like,
they're just trying to save money.
There's a huge population that are trying to do these on their own and self-medicate. And then they're causing themselves a lot of issues by doing that. So it's not that these drugs are harmful in doing that. It's people like misusing and abusing them that are having these side effects and these issues. And so I just think people need to understand, like, that's when they read this stuff, like that's what's going on.
Totally. But, we know firsthand that a new version keeps coming out. And so like, I don't think I ever took Semaglutide, but I started with microdosing small amounts of Tirzepatide, which was extremely helpful.
Yeah.
But Retatrutide now, we've been doing that for quite a while, like 3-4 months maybe. And that has been just a huge game changer, not only for us, but for our patients.
Yeah.
And we're seeing like you can use even lower doses and microdosing and seeing major improvement with things that we weren't seeing even with Tirzepatide.
It's on a different level. And then, there's also the new, gosh, I forget the name of it or even how to pronounce it. But the new, GLP-1 oral version. So it's not the same type of molecule, but it's supposed to be bioavailable orally. And that's supposed to be coming out, I think, here by the end of the year. So it'll be interesting to see like how people respond.
Are they saying like what the difference is between?
It's an oral medication. It's not exactly, I believe it's not exactly the same type of peptide molecule, so that it's like it's not as large and it's easier to be absorbed, and so it's an oral version. So like when you see these oral versions like that are compounding pharmacies are making and stuff, like those aren't effective. This isn't that. It's a different type of product altogether. But I believe it's Novo Nordisk that's making it.
Oh, okay.
But that should be out soon. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Anyways, the point is there's all these new versions of these and they're going to keep coming out and they're going to keep getting better and better.
Yeah. I think what's really cool about them too is, we talk a lot about weight loss, right? Like, but the inflammation and the way that it even helps like with gut healing is incredible.
Yeah.
I've seen that with so many people, like even, our provider's husband who had the acid reflux for a long time. He's taking some peptides and stuff and seeing huge improvement there. So lots of really cool, amazing stuff when used properly. And again, we talked about so much about, insulin resistance and the disease states that it causes. And it's like, okay, like again, like hormones, exercising, eating right, like all these things are reducing insulin resistance. And then enter these GLPs that do an amazing job of helping improve insulin sensitivity. And it's just like, again, it's another huge lever that you can pull to just really dial in your health. Yeah. It is crazy to me though. I know I've already talked about it before, but getting on TikTok especially, it's like all these like pharmacies, I guess, in China that are offering like huge cases of all these peptides, especially the GLPs, advertising $2,000 worth for $180 and stuff. And people are actually like buying these cases full.
Yeah. I mean, I talked about this a few episodes ago, but it's like you have everyone now trying to capitalize like financially on this peptide market, peptides in general, but, specifically like the GLPs, like everyone's trying to profit on them. And so like any like influencer out there, like everyone has an affiliate code, to a research site, like buy my, use my code here for this peptide or whatever. And it's like people, I think should like, look, I'm all for like people can choose to do whatever they want with their body and you can put whatever you want into your own body. And I think that we're all free to do that. But I think people need to understand that like when you are ordering something from one of these places, it's popular now to have like testing. The test analysis that goes along with it. And companies will show like, oh, it's this pure or whatever, but people need to understand like that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you're getting. Like it's easy to create a batch of a peptide and then send it out for testing and show that it's this pure, but then you can make, all your other batches don't have to meet that same qualification. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that's what you're getting. And I just would really caution people about like where you're getting that stuff from.
Yeah. My thing is like, I think it was our last episode, talking about doing it naturally. And then all these people have no problem just injecting something they get from some random person off of TikTok.
It's crazy. I know. Cause it's like, it's like most people, it's just like, you're just like your average person that has no idea really like what you're doing or like where you're ordering it from. And it's like, they're
mixing it from their kitchen sometimes.
They don't even know what they're doing. And it's
crazy.
Like, it is crazy that you're just trusting just some random site. And it's like, I'm not like, I know there's some places that make good products and you can get it from or whatever, but it's like, most people don't have any idea where to get it from and what they're even doing.
Yeah. I think another thing we see is that we'll come across a lot of like patients that come to us that are pretty unhealthy and starting on their hormones too. They could really use that as an add-on. And a lot of times they're like, no, I'm going to try this first and then I'll add it in. But I would really encourage people to add that in with their hormones early on, because it is one of those things that you can tell a noticeable difference right away. And it kind of gives you that encouragement to keep going to where you see some improvement pretty quickly.
For sure. Yeah, I definitely. And I just say, like, to really highlight what you said about starting it with your hormones, like you definitely need to do the hormones like first and foremost. And it's like, if you're not addressing your hormones and trying to do these, we see it time and time again, like you are not going to get the same outcome. You're not going to get the sustained outcome. You're going to lose a lot of muscle with it. Like you're going to be skinny fat. It's not going to look good. Like you can tell that, like, people just look older. They don't look
Very
healthy.
sunken.
Like you can just tell that people aren't doing it correctly, that aren't addressing their hormones at the same time.
Yeah. You know, I just thought of like one of our male patients that came to us early on, and he had a sick liver. Like his liver enzymes were really high, and we told him to hold off on the hormones for a month. So we put him on Tirzepatide with NAC, and I think he did the liver detox.
Yeah.
And
glutathione too, I think.
Yeah. And within like 3 weeks, not only were his liver enzymes down to like 26, he had lost like, I don't remember, 15 pounds or something.
I think he's down like almost 50 overall
now.
But it's like,
then we introduced the hormones at that point.
Yeah.
So not every case is the same, but a lot of times, like if we can start addressing the insulin resistance while starting on hormones too, that even gives you a push of helping that work better together.
Yeah. Because there's a difference between just losing weight and changing your body composition. Right. And it's like, that patient you're talking about, not only is he lost like almost 50 pounds, but it's like he's filled out, like he's more muscular through here. Yeah. He had this huge belly that's now gone. Yeah. And so it's like,
he's a whole new human.
Yeah. And I mean, he looks good.
Yeah. I was trying to think, I think that was like maybe in February or March. So, I mean, he's coming up on a year, and he's done it in a very safe and healthy manner. Yep. And you can tell. Yeah, he looks great.
Looks great, and he feels great. And got himself a new girlfriend.
So going back to like what you just mentioned about, running into people and you can noticeably tell that they're taking these peptides, they're not using them correctly. That's something that we really, really emphasize with our patients, and you can tell a huge difference. I know for me firsthand with our females, they want that 20 pounds in a month. So trying to overcome that and tell them like that's not a healthy way to do it. You didn't put this weight on overnight. It can be challenging sometimes, but it's very rewarding because I just had one female patient that she started her hormones and she had quite a bit of weight to lose and she's lost 20 pounds and this is her first, I think she's 8 weeks in. Yeah. So, I mean, that's huge, 20 pounds in 2 months and she's feeling better. Her hormones are like more regulated and balanced and, there is light at the end of the tunnel by doing it a slow, safe way versus just like handing it out like candy and upping those doses like we hear all the time.
I wonder if I'll ask you, I know men and women are different, and I know like body dysmorphia is a real thing, but I think, let's say you're a woman and you have like 50 pounds to lose or, quite a bit of extra weight, and you are one of those people that just kind of like go all in and you don't address the hormones. You take the high dose of the GLPs and you just lose a ton of weight fast. And it's like, do women because when I see people like that, I will think like, I'll feel bad for them because it's like, gosh, like you spent so much money doing this. Like you don't look good at all. Like, I feel like a lot of times, like, it's like you've lost weight, but you lost muscle. In my eyes, you actually look worse than you did before. And you're probably not really much healthier because it's like you've lost weight, but you probably have as much, if not more, visceral fat or body fat because you've lost a lot of muscle, your insulin, you know what I mean? And so it's like, are some people so blinded by the fact that they've lost so much weight that they kind of ignore those other things? Like they don't really see that part of the picture because they're just so excited about the weight that they've lost.
I think we can clearly see that is the case, unfortunately, because they start feeling sexier, more beautiful, like they're wearing clothes that they haven't been able to wear for a long time. Unfortunately, we see that a lot more, I think, with even Semaglutide. And that's one reason why I never suggest it. Yeah. I'll only even think that it's okay if it's something that they really, really push back on maybe for cost or something, which doesn't make sense at this point because everything has really come down. But I think that Tirzepatide is a great option because you're able to get in more of your protein intake and stuff. That's huge.
Yeah.
Like just making sure you're getting the nutrients.
Yes.
Again, like I do think that people want that quick fix and they're okay with it. I don't think they understand the long-term damage that they're doing to their health by not only losing it so fast, but losing all the muscle along the way too.
Yeah.
And that's one thing like with Retatrutide that we're not seeing that, you know, and it's crazy because it is speeding up your metabolism enough that you're still hungry. So then you're going to eat and you're able to get that protein intake in. You're able to get the nutrients and stuff in. You're just full faster.
Yeah. Well, and it's pushing your body into that lipolytic state to where it's like you're kind of forcing the body to use fat as a fuel source instead of like pulling the amino acids from the muscle tissue. And so it's like that's a huge benefit to Retta and why like people are responding so well to it. I just asked you because I just feel bad for some of these people. It's like, yeah, you've lost all this weight, but you literally look like you've aged 10 years.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, it's not a good look and it's not healthy. And I just don't know if people are aware of that, the people that go through that, or if they're just kind of blinded by the weight loss.
I think enough people now are even like bold enough to tell them. I think people are hearing it.
Yeah.
But I think that I think that people just have struggled for so long too, and they've been stuck. And so now this is like the magic syringe that people are using that they're like able to shed that weight off that they've been stuck with for so long that they're just excited. And
well, we've seen it too, to where like someone will come and it's almost, they'll have a financial decision to make where it's like, they can't afford to do both. They can't afford to do the hormones and the GLPs. And it's like, we can't force someone to do the hormones, unfortunately, but it's like, I always kind of just like cringe. I feel bad when someone makes that choice of like, okay, I just want to do the GLP because that's all I can afford. You know,
agree.
like
I agree. We were talking though yesterday, Lisa and I, and since we changed, I think 6 months ago, where we require blood work before doing the GLPs and stuff too, it's allowed those conversations to be like even deeper, to like take a look at, you know, what does your lipids, your metabolic, everything like looking like, and being like, okay, you really need to address this. And there's some underlying health issues. And I feel like more than not, they are addressing
I do
now.
too. Yeah.
You know, just by taking that stance.
I definitely feel like it's more than not. It's not, I feel like it's rare when someone just does the GLP, but it's always hard.
It goes back to knowledge is power. So, I mean, if they don't know and they just want to lose weight, you know, but sometimes it takes that push too for women, I think, especially, I don't know for men, but they need to lose 5 to 10 pounds before they even get into the gym because they're so uncomfortable and insecure already just from where
I understand that totally. And it is like that for guys too. I mean, for sure. So everyone deals with
I think it's helpful. But at the end of the day, I think we both, and we agree at Rev, that these are amazing tools to use and helping so many people, doing a lot more like good things for people and their overall health versus harm.
Exactly.
When used correctly.
Yep, for sure.
So the real story really isn't about losing weight. It's taking your health back and getting control over your life. Also, like, stop listening to all these influencers that you see on TikTok and Instagram. Like, find a provider that you truly trust and has your best interest in mind long term. And like always, I want to thank you for joining us today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this episode if you feel led to, and we will see you next time. Thank you.